Stranded and forgotten, over 100,000 dogs in the city of San Antonio are left out on the streets every night. With no place to call home, man's best friend is left to fend for themselves, suffering from disease, starvation, and deadly infections. With the growing number of stray dogs in San Antonio, many of these dogs have wandered onto the campus of Our Lady of the Lake University. University professor of social work and dog enthusiast Cynthia Medina has taken the initiative to rescue these cuddly companions.
I love them. What can I say? You know, people love dogs, and there are like dog books and quotes about dogs, and it's all true. Maya was the first dog I rescued, and that was on July 5th, 2002. My daughter Raven had asked if she could have a dog, and I really didn't want a dog. So I said, honey, Texas is too hot. So if like we ever see a white dog, then we'll get it. So 3 days later, we were dropping books off at the library, and we heard this little crying sound coming out of the bushes. And there was this little white puppy, and Raven said, Mom, you said if I ever saw a white dog. So since then, after rescuing that first one, I haven't stopped.
Through the past 11 years, Medina and her daughter Raven, a student at the university, have continued to rescue dogs on and off campus.
Whenever we see stray dogs or just dogs out and about with, and there's like no obvious owner around, we pick them up and we either take them to the Animal Defense League or Animal Care Services or the Humane Society. And we always check to see if a dog is microchipped at the emergency pet hospital, and if they are, then we follow up and we try to find to see who their owner is, and if not, then we take them in.
So I keep a leash in my trunk. I've pulled over in traffic and rescued dogs. Been late for meetings. I've been late for work. I've carried dogs to class with me in little pouches, scared little baby dogs.
With insufficient space available at animal rescue centers, fostering a dog is another alternative.
The dog that right now we're fostering, she's a really gorgeous collie shepherd mix, the friendliest little dog. She's 5 months old. And I saw, it was called Pet Harbor, and that's like photos of all the dogs, you know, they're animals that are there. And it said she was scheduled possibly for euthanasia as soon as. And so we called and we're like, no, you can't euthanize the dog. And I mean, we can't save all the dogs, but we can save some of the dogs. And so I always feel like if I do my little part, and I know other people are doing theirs, like, we rescue a lot of dogs.
Tutor and disability coordinator Janet Fisher voices her opinion about her fellow coworker.
It's very a kind thing, I view it as rescuing the dogs, because not only is the animal being neglected, and it may be how I was raised, it also does affect the community, and I think it's a very worthwhile effort.
Rescuing dogs on campus has become a trend. Faculty and students rescued the latest dog loitering near the Warden building.
So we had a little dog that had been hanging out in front of the Warden building for, oh my gosh, months, I think. Gorgeous little dog, but hadn't been around people, wasn't socialized, would really bark, little thing.
She was this short, like brown, black dog.
It was such a cute little thing. It was so ugly. It was cute. It was uncared for, unkept.
People had started feeding her. She had a little water carrier outside. We were feeding her like crazy. I had treats. I have food here that I keep in my office in case I rescue dogs. I have a little dog food.
Throughout the years, Medina has rescued dozens of dogs, 2 of which have become her faithful friends. The love and joy she says they bring to her life is a motive for her continual dog rescues.
They're absolutely loving. I mean, I have 2 dogs now. They're both rescue dogs. We're rescue dogs, and they are just the most loving creatures. So when I see a dog and it's in a street and it looks frightened, or you can tell it's been abandoned, it's emaciated, I just can't bear to see it, when I know that if they had a loving home, it would be the greatest thing. I would encourage students to, if you can rescue a dog, find out. And if we have dogs on campus that hang out and they're stray, to call Animal Defense League on a regular basis and say, do you have openings? If you get 5 friends to chip in $5 each or whatever, you can rescue a dog and take it to place. But to find out what the options are, what the requirements are, if there's a fee involved, and if they're out here living, and Animal Defense League says we might have an opening in a week, then check back.
Rescuing a furry creature can be dangerous, says Raven. Rescuing dogs should not be taken lightly. She provides guidelines for which dogs to approach.
You can try and be if you call, usually what I do is I call out to the dog first, and if it responds well to me, then I know it's okay if they growl, of course, or if they have, if they're not wagging their tails, then you know not to get near them. I get attached, but not too attached. It's because I know that they're going to have a better life because I rescued them. I want them to have their own family and their own home.
With Medina and her daughter Raven's help, more and more dogs will have the opportunity to live and love. Reporting for Our Lady of the Lake University, I'm Ayla Betancourt.